Alright, there we are, and it's not even Sunday. Well, I'm on vacation and I do have time, so today we are making some faces. So I made this control rig for Louise's face. As you can see in the left here, it does have all the morph targets that are not visemes. Those are created here. We just have a for loop with the amount of morph targets that we have, an array of names with all the names, and then we are just creating them and adding them to a single control that acts as a proxy. Then we are adding them to an array, and for this array we are setting all of the curve values, and that's pretty much it for how to animate a face. Just wanted to show this off real quick. I did modify Louise's model a little bit. As you can see, she can blink now and also speak. There is no audio attached to it as of now, but I made a little viseme sequence to test out how the lip movement looks. As you can see, I made teeth and a tongue for Louise and the visemes, so the mouth movement. I think it does actually look relatively good. Still just waiting on getting some good audio to test it with. And then we are putting Louise in center and stage here. I don't know why she vanished. Let's just open this up again. There she is. And on my second screen there is just the sequencer. I'm making just one frame for each facial expression. This will be an animation that goes through all the facial expressions in rather quick succession. And the animation attached to that will be rendered to a pose asset, and this pose asset can then in turn be used to be added to usual animations. And those animations can then have expressions, so facial expressions, while being played. And again, I'm getting hung up on Unreal Engine 5.6 with not finding the camera speed. Well, then we are going slow. By the way, Louise not only got teeth and a tongue, she also got fingernails. Very fancy. So you did see there are two keyframe things already in the sequencer where I tried this out. So for some reason it doesn't work. Great. I think I might know why. Facial control rig. I did make a change here and that seemed to have thrown it off. Does it work? Now it does. Yeah. So I did make a smiling facial expression and a grinning facial expression. And now we're following up with a laughing facial expression. I'll probably be googling some reference on my other monitor ever so often, but I think laughter we can pretty easily base off the grin. Just opening up the teeth for that. And we can just say that's maybe a tad far. Squint a good bit more. I think I do need to change up the eyebrows a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, let's say we make the brow a little bit higher on here. Maybe even a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. So many happy emotions. Here you can actually, while we're at it, see the tongue and the teeth. The tongue is a little bit like flat at this point. I didn't get around to importing the finished one that is a little bit more round, but I think for testing it's fine as is. So those are all the happy ones. Are there even happier ones? I don't know. I'm never happy. Maybe we can get a little smug. Zero everything out here. And go into a smirk. So Yeah, I think the left side is good for that. Okay, that just looks kinda strange, I must say. So let me look up some smiley face reference. Okay, we could actually, let me delete all this, make a second version of the grin before going into straight up laughter. Got to change the interpolation type for everything to constant. Yeah, perfect. Because we don't actually want to interpolate between any of those here. Yeah, we could, for example, do a second version of the grin with closed eyes. Like the dead joke laugh. Yeah, which would have the cheeks squinted really high. Gotta sneer a little. Or maybe even much. That's too much. Yeah, like that one. And I think we can actually, for the laughing one, do get a little bit more of the nose sneer. Maybe, yeah, 0.4. And also a little bit more of the cheek squint. Same amount. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, then we can do a closed eye version of this as well. So just getting all the keyframes except the ones for the mouth. Yeah, I think I'm content with that as well. And I think well, if I want to animate actual laughing, I think I can just base it off that and do an extra animation. This is for static poses, right? Okay, so we do have the 5 happy poses. And let me think. Well, the most logical thing to do would, of course, be go into the sad poses now. I think they wouldn't actually be too important for the gameplay. The looking happy, I think I had the idea of putting the happy face, or maybe like a toned down version of the happy face, as the standard expression when everything is fine, health is fully up, stamina is fully up, and all that. And I can basically calculate a float between feeling well and feeling very not so well, to put on her face gradually the more hunger you have or the more exhausted you are, and so on. That would actually be important for gameplay, but those are gonna be more for like well, they are for if I find something nice or something to overlay the mouth movement with. Okay, so sad faces. Let's just start out with a very unhappy frown. And usually the sad frown does have the brows, the inner brows going up. The puppy face, here we go. But I don't want to put them too far up. Or let's say this is good, but then we're putting them back down a little. As to not to displace them too much. Okay, so usually I think when you're sad, your lips will also be pressed a little bit or rolled a little bit up. Yeah, like this. A little bit farther up, yeah. Maybe not that far up. Yeah, I'd say this does look proper sad. maybe do need to exaggerate this a little more, yeah. Close up the eyes a little. Yeah, that does look proper set. I'll go with that. Okay. Can we exaggerate this a little bit? Yeah, I think we can. Okay, and in the case of we're basically crying, I think we can add a little bit of mouth funneling. That's too much. Can open the jaw a little bit less with the funneling. And we do need to look way more desperate. This does not look more desperate. Okay, so this looks sick and as if she's about to puke. I may actually keep this expression. Maybe not as exaggerated. And frown a little less. Mouth frown here. This does look really sick. Okay. Let me just put this somewhere else. Okay, here we're set again. It's kinda hard to find some proper sad crying facial reference. Okay, this one might work. So the crying one does actually frown way less. I think this does look way more realistic as a frown than the really exaggerated one. Okay, so this is the neutral one. Yeah, that's actually better. Let's say here we're gonna frown like 0.2. Teeth will need to be clenched, which we can see soon. Okay, and this needs to be pressed way more. Yeah, this is the right one. Okay, but I did actually do a goof here because the lower lip should actually roll outwards. There are so many of those morph targets. Sometimes hard to find them. This does look very defeated. So I'm keeping this one as well. Okay, now let's make this one an angry one. So we need to squint way more. little bit more of the nose, since that influences the eyebrow as well. And we also need to widen the eye a little bit, not that much, that looks just insane, but maybe this much. Yeah, this is angry. This was easy to animate as it's my go-to state of mind. But the cheek squint, I think there isn't even. Well, there should be. Alright, is that too angry? What a roller coaster of emotions. Okay. So more expressions that we are gonna need for gameplay are, I think those are mostly annoyed, maybe, in pain, fear. I think we're starting with annoyed. Yeah, annoyed would see us lift this brow up. Not by that much though. No, that's not what I'm after. Yeah, we want to raise that brow. By a bit. But unfortunately, I can't individually control the inside portion. So let's go back to neutral with the brows here. I can raise this one. And then go down with the full thing. then I can say go up with the entire inner part. Yeah, that doesn't look too annoyed, it's just looking crooked. Yeah, I need to nose sneer even more on the right. Cheek squint as well. Yeah, this is looking annoyed, I'd say. Angry. Other angry. Maybe we don't need to actually frown that much here. Yeah, mouth can actually be fully neutral. Maybe even that does look furious. Yeah, we keeping that. That looks fucking furious. I love it. Okay, but we really do need an annoyed one. This combined with a smile looks evil. Yeah, I think we're getting more in the realm of what I'm looking for here. Mm-hmm. I think I need to put the eye a little bit further back into the skull. By the way, now we do have one of those pretty famous from the inside views. Isn't it beautiful? I've been waiting for this so long. Okay. Yeah, this looks proper annoyed. I am loving it. Let's just squint a little less on the right side. Let's say we squint even less, but blink a little bit more. No, this does not work. Yeah, I'm going with that. Angry, pissed, skeptical. All right. Let's see, what else do we need? Yeah, I think the lips need to be pressed a little more. Yeah, that's fine. It's more like the skeptical. But I do want to have a more like the what the fuck face. Which would combine both of the pressed down eyebrows with like another mouth expression. Yeah, it would be a little bit less angry. Let's say -0.2, 3. Yeah. It would have one entire cheek squint. Then a really shrugged up upper lip. No, not lower upper. teeth clench. And then we do have to press up. Yeah, like this. This is the Oblivion angry face. Okay. Man, all of them look furious. Okay, so we do need a fair bit more squinting. Yeah, that's all right, but the direction. I do think this still is looking too angry. I'm going more for like something like this. But the mouth shape is still not correct. Maybe the eyebrows are still looking too angry. Maybe they are not angry enough anymore. Yeah, that's closer, I'd say. think we're going to open up the jaw just a little bit. Yeah, that's good. That's not good. I mean, this is a proper look of disgust, isn't it? Yeah, I'm keeping that as well. Alright, I think that's actually gonna be it for now. Got all those neat expressions. Yeah. And the rest is gonna have to wait for another time. Alright. I'd say go therefore and work.